This is how you will become a millionaire just by investing $300. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky here, and please just hear me out, watch the entire video, and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. This is not a video to convince you or to change whatever business it is that you wanted to start that you think that will lead you to becoming a millionaire. This is literally for worst case scenario. The reason I find this information to be so useful is I just had a daughter, right? Her name is Remy. She's 1 year old. And although, I was able to hit the milestone of becoming a millionaire at 22, and a lot of you guys might hit it sooner than me. Some of you guys might hit it after. This is a worst case scenario that even I can put into effect for my daughter. And it only requires one thing, and that is consistency over a long period of time. So if you have goals, if you have aspirations, if you want to continue to pursue starting a business or whatever avenue that you think that will make you a lot of money, do it. This is, again, literally the worst case scenario to guarantee that you will still become a millionaire even if all else fails. So again, I hope that you learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing. The first thing that you need to understand is that this is going to happen over a period of 40 years. And I can already see and feel the eye roll. Ricky, I don't want to become a millionaire in 40 years. I want to become a millionaire in the next year or two. And again, that's going to be with your business. That's going to be with whatever avenues that could be with more aggressive trading, right? Obviously, with more risk comes more reward. This is worst case scenario. You at least will hit $1 million in the next 40 years. So as long as you contribute $300 a month, and this is going to be every month for the next 40 years. Let me explain. If you invest into a specific index fund, and an index fund, I'm going to show you all of this. If you invest in a specific index fund that has an average growth of around 10% a year, it gets compounded yearly. So again, the more money you make, the more money that it will make you as time goes on, the more that you contribute, the more money that will make you, right? $300 a month for the next 40 years. That's $3,600 a year. It's not very much, right? It's very realistic for, I would say, a lot of people, majority of people. If you have a kid, if you don't want to do it for yourself, right, because you have larger aspirations, then do it for your future kids, right? Think about it. It's 40 years. So if you just had a kid, then by the time they're 40, at least you will have over $1 million for them. So if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family, right? And this is why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm putting this into effect more now than ever before for my daughter, Remy, right? $300, $3,600 a year. It leads to about a total contribution for the next 40 years of $144,000. I wanted to show you that $144,000 over the span of 40 years will be worth over $1.5 million. You might say, well, $1.5 million in 40 years isn't going to be very much. Well, guess what? If you don't have anything going on in the back end, you won't have anything at all, right? This is literally worst case scenario. Remember, if you don't want to do it for yourself, think about it. Do it for your future family. At least that's my motivation. I wanted to show you this very quickly. I'm much more of a visual learner. So with no initial investment, right? You can open up a trading account or an investment account. You can contribute $300 starting, right? We're about to start the month of March. Just say that my goal for this year is to contribute $300 every year, starting the month of March, right? $300 for the next 40 years at an average rate of 10% compounded annually will lead to nearly 1.6 million, but overall 1.5 million. And it could show you the exponential growth literally in the last really 5 to 10 years. It's really where you get going. But think about this. With your initial contribution of $300, overall contribution of $144,000 within the span of 40 years will lead you to have nearly $1.6 million. And remember, this is not to take away from your other goals and your other aspirations of business or anything like that, right? Of what ventures might make you more money quicker. This is literally worst case scenario. So all of us, so if not for you, then maybe for someone that you love, right? That you have something going on the back end, that even worst case scenario, think about this, just $300 a month. This is how important it is to do it over a period of time. Now, a question you might have is, okay, the numbers make sense. I'm down for this, right? $300 a month, $3,600 a year for the next 40 years. Let's do it, right? I'm 28, so that means by, for me, 68, right, will be the time that I would have hit this milestone if I were to start this now. Remember, if it's not for me, then it's going to be for my daughter, right? And by the time that she's 40, then she at least has an extra $1.6 million And the thing is like, yeah, sure, it might not be worth much due to inflation, or what's 1.6 valued at or worth in 40 years. But think about it. If you put nothing into effect, then she'll end up having nothing, right? And that's why I wanted to at least show you this, because I know there's parents out there. I know there's people that are working towards having a family, or even if you do it for yourself, if I'm catching you at a pretty early age, think about that. I mean, 40 years isn't that long when it comes down to the overall contribution of just $300. The more you contribute, obviously, the quicker that you will get there. But I just wanted something that was pretty realistic. Now, a question you might have is, okay, well, where can I start investing? I personally use a Webull account. You can open up a free Webull account. So it's free to open up one of these investment accounts, and you can sign up for it. I have my link. It's the 5th link in the description down below. You don't have to use my link, but if you do, and you deposit at least $1, you should be depositing $300, right, according to this goal. But even if you just deposit $1, they will give you up to 12 free shares if you use my link. And again, that's that 5th link down below. I wanted to give you an example of an index or an ETF, right, that follows an index. This is the SPY. A lot of you guys might have heard of it. It's an ETF that follows the S&P 500. I wanted to show you that even in the past 10 years, right, some people might be like, well, Ricky, 10% a year on average, seems pretty unrealistic, right? Did you know that something like the SPY or S&P 500 ETF beats 95% of other funds out there when it comes down to growth over a period of time? And I wanted to show you this, right? This is my little trend line tool. I wanted to go back to 2013. So 2013, we can catch this right on over here, right? January 2013. And then go into where it is that we are now. This is even after the pullback, right? 233%. Do you see this little thing? 233%. 226% is what it's grown in the past 10 years. So think about that. On average, that's after the pullback. On average, that is a 20% return yearly in the past 10 years. This is with SPY. So this isn't something that is unattainable with that goal of 10%. If you can afford $300 and realistically afford it where it doesn't really make a difference, then why would you not put this into effect? If not for yourself, then maybe for your future kids, right? SPY is just an example. There's Vanguard funds, there's NASDAQ ETFs. You can try to self-manage, but the example I wanted to give you was if you had no experience historically, what's the best thing to invest in? And in my opinion, and based off of the track record, is S&P 500 ETF, right? It outperforms 95% of the market, and it's consistent. So there's no reason to overcomplicate it, right? Especially if you have no intention to dedicate a lot of time into learning more about this. I mean, I would still encourage you to speak to an investment advisor, ask them what they think about investing into an index fund like SPY over a period of time. And I can reassure you that most of them will agree that it tends to outperform most of the market, and it's very reliable. Now, the reason I think that it's perfect timing right now is NASDAQ market, S&P 500, majority of the markets have recently pulled on back, right? Because of what's going on with inflation being high, markets have pulled on back. You can buy these companies at a huge discount. If you look at SPY based off of previous highs and where we're at right now, it's dropped 13%. And think about that. When have you ever heard is the best time to invest? The best time to invest is during recessions or during down markets. So if you were to start now, most likely your return, even in your first year or 2 years, is probably going to be much greater than the average return for the next 40. So think about that, right? If you've never opened up an investment account, if you've never opened up a trading account, then maybe now is time, right? Again, if you don't do it for yourself, then maybe you'll do it for your family, right? But you have to be consistent. If you're going to do anything in life, you just focus on one thing, and that's being consistent with it. So $300 for the next 40 years, $3,600 a year is your contribution. $144,000 is your total contribution for the next 40 years. And then you end up with a $1.5 million investment account. And again, as time goes on, obviously you're going to most likely want to contribute more money. So this 1.5, nearly 1.6 can end up being, if you can afford double, or as time goes on, you really like the return that you're experiencing. Who knows what it could lead to, right? Maybe 2 million, maybe 2.5, maybe for some of you 10 million. And think about that. It's a simple step that you take today that can lead to a much brighter tomorrow. But if you put nothing into effect, then nothing will ever happen. And again, it's super simple to open up an investment account. Literally, fifth link in the description. You open it up. It has a sign-up bonus right now. Markets are down right now. What better time? I mean, I could not come up with an excuse on why not to do it if you can't afford it, right? Especially if you have an intention of having a family, right? Or if I'm catching you at a very early age, and this is literally, again, this is not the only way you're gonna make $1 million. This is just the guaranteed way, right? So if I wanna be a millionaire, no, this is how you're going to become a millionaire. And I think that's the really cool part about it. So I hope that it at least inspires some of you guys to open up an investment account, to not overcomplicate it, and just to start investing, right? It's not an ego contest about how much I'm investing with versus how much you're investing with, how much money your friends or family might have versus you. Remember, you're in it for the long haul, and this is just so you can guarantee that you will become a millionaire in the next 40 years. So I appreciate your time. I hope that earned your thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. If you have any questions whatsoever, friendly reminder, I do respond to all of my direct messages via Discord or via Instagram, and that's that first or third link in the description down below. Also, I do trade live every day for those that want to take trading a little bit more seriously. That's aside from just investing. This is trading, and this is something that I do every day. If you want to be able to watch me trade live every morning and you want to learn a little bit more about our LPP team, then again, that's that second link down below. It's literally the only service that I offer, and it's to be able to watch me trade live every single day. So you see my green days, you see my red days, but most importantly, you hear my thought process. And again, the Webull trading application, if you want to open up a free account within the US and get up to 12 free shares, that's that fifth link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.